All right, Shalom. First, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Racha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. Real quick, we're just gonna go into because we were just conversing. All right, talking about this, about the expulsion of the Jews from Rome.
God.
Okay, which you read about in the book of Acts. Okay, because it was actually a thing that happened.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and really why they were expelled. Okay, from Rome, because it wasn't once. All right, and basically the same thing that happened then, you can see is happening now. Okay, the reasons why. Okay, and so
in the form of it, in a mini form, will be gentrification in a way. Okay, but go ahead.
So here I have in the Wikipedia, it says Claudius expulsion of Jews from Rome. All right. Reference, and I'm gonna jump around.
Claudius was the fifth Caesar, right? The fifth Caesar of Rome.
Yeah. It says references to an expulsion of Jews from Rome by the Roman Emperor Claudius, who was in office from 41 to 54 AD, appear in the Acts of the Apostles 18 verse 2, and in the writings of the Roman historian Suetonius, which was around 69 AD to 122 AD. All right, and it goes in other authors who wrote about it, but we're just gonna get to the main point of it. It says here there were at least 2 expulsions of Jews from Rome before this event. So there were at least 2 different times when you had Jews expelled from Rome before Claudius expelled them. Now let's hear why. In 139 BC, the Jews were expelled after being accused of Judaizing among the local Gentiles, which we know those were Israelite foreigners or Israelites. All right. Then in AD 19 or 19 AD, Tiberius, which was what, the third, I believe.
Tiberius was the third Khan. The third Caesar of Rome.
Right. Tiberius once again expelled Jews from the city for similar reasons. Okay, so they were expelled in 139, then they were expelled in 19 AD for what? For the same reasons. Now, what reason was that? Okay, like it says, accused of Judaizing among the local Jews. So you basically had Israelites waking up other Israelites. All right, and that was causing uproars. Okay, that was causing Jake to now stand up, and rebel. You have Jake that have that are more zealous than others. All right, and you have zealots. So you have those who they'll wake up to the fact that they're Israelites, but they don't know how to really control their spirit. That's why you had a lot of different uprisings. All right, the Roman Jewish wars. When you read about that, the reason Jerusalem got sieged, all right, for around the time period of 70 AD was because of the constant revolts that they were having. So they became a nuisance and a problem, and they finally put an end to it. The Romans put an end to it by just destroying the city, all right, and destroying the temple. Okay, and
hey, and that's a trait in Jake, man. Jake is always known for rebelling, man. That's why you think Esau goes so hard. He's like, look, man, it happened in the Roman Empire. Okay, and this time we're not gonna let that happen, man. You're not gonna keep out here always rioting, always rebelling, man. Okay, and back then, during the time before 70 AD, it was, I believe, Nero. Okay, he's the one who started that whole persecution because he was getting tired of Jake always rebelling. Okay, and that's why he appointed Vespasian, all right, to take over and say, yo, calm these people down, man. All right, and ultimately Titus, who took over and then had his mercenaries come in and wild out. Okay, but Jake has always been the type they've always had a rebellious spirit, man. Okay, we getting into that right now, and that's why Esau is scared because of this truth coming up, because he understands once these people wake up to who they are, it's gonna be another revolt. Okay, another rebellious act, and that's how we're gonna have that so-called civil war that's coming soon, man. Okay, because Jake is gonna wake up to who they are and understand, and then going back to old times, you're gonna have the zealots. Okay, who are going to go out there and not be spiritual. They're going to be carnal, and that's when things are going to pop off. Okay, so it's going to be a spiritual awakening that's going to lead into the carnal, and people are going to start wilding up, man.
Hey, well, it's all the spirit, and Esau fears it most now because we're doing it spiritually. You see, when you read in the book of Acts, Gamaliel, all right, he says what? He when they had the apostles, all right, in the council, all right, he said, yo, put them out real quick, and then he spoke to them and said, look, leave these guys alone, man, because if what they're doing is of the Most High, then you're going to end up fighting against the Lord. But if what they're doing is of men, it's going to come to naught. And then he mentions a couple of other people who try to rise up and revolt and take down the Roman Empire and all that, and they failed. Why? Because it was of men. So the problem now is Esau's scared because it's spiritual. We're not taking arms. We're not doing any of that. We're not getting carnal. All right, but yet the awakening is still happening. Okay, and he knows it's even more dangerous now because we're in the last of the last days. So the only thing left, there's not going to be a great falling away, as it tells you in the book of Thessalonians. All right, except there be a falling away first. That already happened. So now the only thing left, all right, when we wake up, is Esau's downfall, and that's why he fears it so much, because it's like a repeat of what happened then. All right, with the exception of the fact that this temple that's being built, the third temple, is spiritual. All right, it's not something you can come and siege and destroy it. It's spiritual. All right, and you're not going to be able to take this one down, because pursuant to Isaiah 59 and 19, the Lord is going to lift up a standard, man. The ancient Babylonians destroyed the first temple. Okay, then you had the Romans destroyed the second temple, but the third temple is not going to be destroyed, man. All right, so you have what you have in Acts 18. Before you get that, I'm gonna read a little bit more in here. It says here, there were at least 2 expulsions of Jews from Rome before the reign of the Roman Emperor Claudius. In 139 BC, the Jews were expelled after being accused of aggressive missionary efforts. Then in 19 AD, Tiberius once again expelled Jews from the city for similar reasons. So now they started becoming a nuisance and a thorn, you know. And just like what do you have now? You had they put us in the news, all right, for the whole Covington incident. Then they put us again, trying to tie us into this whole Jersey shooting thing, okay. And it's like as you can see, they'll do it the first time, then they'll do it again, and then they'll seek means or justification to try and now physically take it down. You know, now when you read here, this is from this is the 5th century Christian writer Paulus Orosius makes a possible reference to the event, citing 2 sources. Josephus reports in his 9th year the Jews were expelled by Claudius from the city, but Suetonius, who speaks as follows, influences me more. Claudius expelled from Rome the Jews constantly rioting at the instigation of Christ. And then that's why you had a whole uproar in Ephesus, because Paul was really converting a lot of Israelites back to the faith of Hamashiach, teaching them about Yahushai. And you had a lot of Israelites, like you had those who would build the idols, all right, of Diana. They were losing money. So they started inciting people to uproar to the point where you had the whole town going crazy. You know, where the town clerk had to come and calm them down and tell them, yo, y'all gotta chill, because the Romans gonna come and ask, yo, why was there such a big uproar today? You know, so so it's the same thing. You know, it says, as far as whether he had commanded the Jews rioting against Christ be restrained and checked, or also had wanted the Christians as persons of a cognate religion to be expelled, it is not at all to be discerned. Nonetheless, we understand that this word stirred things up. The same thing you have it doing now, man. Now you got Christians coming out the woodworks. Everybody's attention is on what? This truth. The same doctrine that caused the stirring to happen back then is happening. The same thing is happening now.
Because those same spirits are back here again. All right.
So that's basically it on what I'm going to read here. From that, you could get what
and there's a reference, okay. There's a reference, okay, in the scriptures going back up what happened in secular history. You know, just to prove that a lot of people say, oh, you know, the Bible was written by white men. No, it's a history and a prophecy, bro. You have to read what's in it. Scriptures tell you, blessed is he that readeth. So you can't speak on something you know nothing about. That's what's wrong with our people, man.
That's right.
Okay, now this is the book of Acts chapter 18, start off at 1. It says, after these things, Paul departed from Athens and came to Corinth, and found a certain Jew named Aquila, born in Pontus, lately from Italy, with his wife Priscilla.
Lately come from Italy. You know, and that where's Rome? Italy,
exactly. It says, because that Claudius had commanded all Jews to depart from Rome.
Why was that? We just read it.
That's it. It says, and came unto them. And because he was of the same craft, he abode with them and wrought for by their occupation they were tent makers.
Right, so they had something in common.
Right.
You know, now at least you know Paul was a tent maker. All right. Nonetheless, they had to leave Rome because they were expelled for the same reason. All right, that you have the same reason we just read. Okay, because the Caesars, they got fed up.
Yep.
Basically it went to the gates of the nobles.
Yep.
You know, because they were like, yo, we're hearing about this. People are uprising. They're saying this, they're doing this, and it's causing our economy to decrease, and it's stopping traffic. Yeah, you know, it's deteriorating. We can't have this. To where it got to the ears of the Caesars, and they like, time out. This ain't even the first time these dudes did this.
Yep.
You know, and so they're like, yo, listen, man, just get all of them out. You know, expel them.
God.
You know, because it started becoming a nuisance and a thorn in their side. And it's the same thing happening now. You know, this word is waking people up, and it's becoming a nuisance and a thorn in their side.
God.
You know, seeing brothers teaching everywhere you go.
Hey, and at that time too, it's spiritual. At that time too, there was a thirst. There was a famine, right? And imagine a country in famine, and you got people rioting on top of that. That's annoying as hell. You're gonna be like, bro, you stress me. I'm trying to look out for my people. I'm trying to look out for this and that. Look what's going on. Shut that shit down. And it's the same thing happening now. So when the economy collapses and all hell is breaking loose, and you still got men out there pushing this word and explaining what's happening, the top elites are gonna be losing their mind. And that's how you understand that they're going to start coming after the man of the Lord, because it's like you're sparking something we've been trying to calm down for a long time. We've been doing this for years, like hundreds of years. And within a matter of tens of years, you coming out here 30, 40, 50 years, you coming out here to change everything we've been trying to do for thousands of years.
Right.
What's going on here? Nah, we're not going to have to do this on some like, hey, calm it down, shut YouTube. No, we're going to have to physically take you off the streets, because if we leave you out there, looks like you're going to wake up the whole entire world. We can't
that's
have
what
that.
they said about, what that's what the scriptures say. How shall I say, what if I be exalted, I would draw the world onto me.
Yep.
And the Pharisees spoke among themselves. They said, perceive ye how ye basically succeed nothing against them. Behold, the whole world is going after him.
Going after him, yep.
You know, because especially because they couldn't deny what? The miracles. You know, the Yahushua said, if you're not going to believe me, at least believe me for the very work's sake. Because you can't deny the power of the miracles. You have to know that there's some divine a supernatural power with that. That's why they had to take false witnesses against him and put him to death.
Exactly. And you know something is real when it starts being demonized.
Right.
Okay, it's not something it's not something that we could say doesn't exist. Oh, these guys are crazy. Oh, no. It's not that they're crazy. What they're saying is true. But it's so true that it's going to impact us negatively. So let's demonize it. Let's get the people to be on our side. As a matter of fact, let me get this book right here. I have this book here that goes into that. It's a tactic that Esau likes to use a lot. Okay, which is what to gain the populace support in order not to revolt against their decisions. What they do is they use propaganda. Okay, as a matter. Oh, right here it says.
The book
there's a book. It's called by Bertrand Russell. It's called The Impact of Science on Society. Okay, now right here on page 44, okay, down to the last paragraph, it says, it is possible nowadays for a government to be very much more oppressive than any other government could be before there was scientific technique. Okay, so the government today is way more powerful than those in the Roman Empire. Okay, and the Roman Empire is still today being talked about.
Yes, this is basically Rome 2.0.
Rome 2, that's it. It says propaganda makes persuasion easier for the government. Public ownership of halls and paper makes counter propaganda more difficult. That's why nowadays you have to have a permit for everything. You wanna go to a conference hall to kind of come up with ideas to come up against the government. You have to have a permit for that, which the government is going to have to give you the permit. Okay, they're gonna ask you what you going to talk about. That's why we have something called a 501c3 charter. Okay, 501c3 is for the churches. What are you going to teach the people? Okay, well, if you're going to teach them about Israelites, you're not getting no tax exemptions. Okay, it says what more? It says propaganda more difficult, and the effectiveness of modern armaments makes popular rising impossible. Meaning what? The technology that they have in terms of the army. Okay, they have all these techs, these different technologies that they have, these weapons that they can use against the people. Okay, so it makes uprising much more difficult, and that's how you know that we're gonna have to have spiritual power. Okay, because there's no way physically one-on-one we could go up against the Centaurians, man. Okay, that's why the Lord's gonna have to give us spiritual power, man. You're gonna have to see all this stuff.
Sure.
Okay, you're gonna have to see all this stuff, man. There's more. It says right here, it says page 45, it is to be expected that advances in psychology and physiology will give governments much more control over individual mentality than they now have even in totalitarian countries. Fleche laid it down that education should aim at destroying free will, so that after pupils have left school, they shall be incapable throughout the rest of their lives of thinking or acting otherwise than as their schoolmasters have wished. Okay, so what? Making it harder for people to even think for themselves and therefore revolt. Okay, continue, says diet, injections, and injunctions will combine from a very early age to produce the sort of character and the sort of beliefs that the authorities consider desirable, and any serious criticism of the powers that be will become psychologically impossible. And that's why when we come out with the truth, people can't see it, because they're so docile, they're so beat down, that the things that we talk about these devils and what they do seem so impossible. And an uprising, a spiritual awakening, and us being the kings of Israel or having a kingdom, it doesn't seem plausible. Okay, and that's why this is all spiritual, man, because if you look at it in a carnal sense, it seems like something that could never happen. Right. We've had people come up to us and be like, bro, how are we going to take these people down, bro? You see they could bomb your ass from 10,000 feet with a drone. You don't got no power against a white man. You crazy, bro? Like, what are you going to do against them? How are we going to take them down? We got to come in as a people that know. It's the Most High who's going to bring everything down, man. Not us. But he's going to start giving the warning by the men of the Lord. Okay, just like back then in the Roman Empire, same thing is happening now.
That's right.
Okay,
that's right.
So we're using this truth to quell all these different things that Esau has done over the years. What? To prevent exactly what's happening right now.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, because like you said, they first they had chains on our bodies physically, but now they put chains on our minds.
Right.
And then they give you the injections and all these things, and they feed you BS in the food system, all right, which they call the school system,
right,
to keep your mind weak so you can't break out of the chains. That's how they keep the chains on you.
That's it.
Okay. But Micah 2:10 tells you arise ye and depart. That's why this word is so powerful, because when you renew your mind, all right, you get that strength.
You free your mind.
Exactly. You free your mind. You get that strength, and then and you're able to break free mentally, and that's a danger. That's dangerous. Okay. So I'm gonna finish it off here. This is 2 Corinthians chapter 10 verse 4. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through the Most High to the pulling down of strongholds. All right, and you have our people that have they're trapped, all right, with this vain mentality that Esau pushes and promotes. So we're casting that down and bringing it down, and that's waking them up. Right? It says, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalteth itself against the knowledge of the Most High, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Hamashiach.
That's it.
See, and that's what's causing that spiritual uproar, all right, in this society. That's waking up that army, Ezekiel 37, and that's what Esau is afraid of. So as the scriptures say, what was written aforetime was written for our learning, and there's no new thing under the sun. This happened before, and it's happening again. All right, this time we're gonna see where it goes, man, because it's the Spirit of the Lord, all right, that's making it happen, man.
That's it.
But this time it's not gonna end like it did last time. Okay, this time we're gonna get the victory.
That's it.
All right, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't know if you got anything else you want to add.
That's it.
Yeah, so we just wanted to go into that real quick. All right, hey man, like the apostles always stress, man, in order to understand prophecy, you need to know history. All right, so to really understand how these scriptures are written, you got to know the context of when they were written, what was going on at the time, stuff like that, man. So it's like if somebody's reading about something you write today, but they're reading about it in the future. If you mention Trump and then in your writing somebody has a certain reaction to it, all right, they first have to know, well, why? What was going on at the time? Who is Trump? What did he do? What are his actions? That mentioning his name can arouse certain feelings in certain people. So if they're reading from the future, they need to get the context of what happened in this time to understand why you would speak about Trump a certain kind of way. Same reason why you and Paul speak about certain people in certain ways. You first need to understand why and what was going on at the time. All right, but yeah, we're pretty much gonna end it here. All right, Lord's will, this was edifying unto the elect. We want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rachakudash. Until next time, Shalom.
Shalom.